Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too, and let's crack on with today's first story. Now, today's first story comes from No University 4105, who says, "Am I the arsehole for abandoning my parents and risking them losing the house? When I was in college, I fell in with the wrong people. Became a bit of an alcoholic and got pregnant. I had to drop out of college. My daughter's father was also a college student. I ended up going back to school and finishing up my degree. The issue was that her father, he got a very lucrative career path in his home state when she was 2. He didn't want to move if it meant he would lose custody, and my parents were only willing to fund my education in this particular college. We decided that all things considered, the best thing for our child was that she'd be with her dad and his very supportive family. I regret that decision every day, but it was the best thing for my child. I have completed college and have been working for a year and a half. I have been paying for everything. My parents are eyeballs deep in consumer debt, and all of their income goes to servicing it and adding to it while I pay for everything else. It is frustrating as I don't make enough to keep them happy. I wanted to move out, but I was not able to land anything worthwhile. I have been able to get a pretty decent remote role. My brother ended up moving to my ex's state. He asked me if I wanted to move in with them. I jumped on the opportunity. I lied to my parents that I was just visiting him and flew out. I've been staying with him ever since. My parents are incredibly angry. They've accused me of abandoning them. They think they will lose the house. They want me to still help them and move back. I feel like an arsehole because they have helped me. They took me in when I was someone on the edge of alcoholism, and now I am sober and a productive member of society. It could have been so much worse without their help, and I was pretty underhanded about it too." Now, I gotta say, this is a not the arsehole from me. You're not responsible for your parents getting into debt and stuff like that. I'm putting myself in your parents' position. I just couldn't see myself doing that to my own child, relying on your help to pay off debts that I created. That just sounds awful. And I think the only thing that really gave me pause for thought is the one where you said you lied to your parents about visiting, then flew out and then just stayed out there. So there was no prior discussion to this or anything like that. But, I don't know the full extent of what you've been going through in the background. So this may have been one of your only options. But Terry Sass says, "Not the arsehole. Your parents made the choices that put themselves in debt. You don't owe it to them to financially support them for the rest of their lives and lose out on being in your son's life in the process." Katz Rob says, and quotes, "I don't make enough to keep them happy," then goes on to say, "The kid's story is very sad, but this is the sentence that really struck me. That's not your job. Did your parents suffer some crazy financial reversal between the part where you stayed at this college because your parents would fund it and the other part where you support them? This is a sad story, but you are not the arsehole. Hope you still have a connection with your kid." A C person by night says, "Not the arsehole. OP, as a parent, let me tell you what your parents should have said. I'm so proud of you. You worked hard to overcome your alcoholism. You worked hard to heal yourself. You deserve to keep moving forward." And goes on to say, "I would give every last penny, every one of my organs, the very last drop of blood and life in my body if it meant my children could be happy, healthy, and strong. The child is not responsible for the parent is responsible for the child. Go out, be your best self, and continue to grow in your health. I'm so sorry you had to escape the way you did, but I'm glad that you're free now to pursue better things for yourself and your own child." G Zulu says, "Not the arsehole. Sounds like you've pandered to your parents' wishes even when it came to your child. Hopefully this is a step forward, doing what's best for yourself and daughter and not letting your parents drag you down with them. If you continue to financially support them, you'll just be enabling them." And Smoochie says, "Everyone sucks here, and I want to be clear. The situation you were in sounds awful. I cannot imagine having to live states away from your child and paying your parents' bills. It is incredibly unfair for your parents to put you in this situation. You are not in the wrong for wanting to leave. The way you did it, however, was wrong. If the previous arrangement was agreed upon by everyone, then ditching that plan without giving them the time to make arrangements is an arsehole move. If you had tried to talk to them before and they shut the idea down, then you're in the clear. But it sounds like you didn't communicate any of this to them. I can understand how the situation may have been so stressful that you felt like you couldn't. I really feel for you. I can also understand how your parents might feel like the rug got ripped out from under them. It's also a game changer if part of their debt was your education. I would suggest maybe working out a plan with them if you can. If you agreed to this financial plan previously, maybe one more month of support. I'm not sure how much they could do in that time to change anything, but it may give them time to make plans like filing for bankruptcy, finding affordable housing, etc. Houses are going for so much right now. It may end up being a better decision for them to sell their home in the long run, as this plan doesn't sound sustainable at all. Perhaps your brother could help out too. So then OP came in to update the post a couple of months later, which says, "It's been 2 months since I posted and a lot has happened. The commenters helped me a lot. I was dealing with a lot of guilt about leaving my parents, and people helped me feel like less of a horrible daughter. I've moved out and got a place of my own. It is only half an hour's drive from my ex's home. I get to see my daughter every week. I go over to his place every other day and I miss her so much. Just being able to play with her tells me that I made the right decision. My parents have tried to contact me and guilt me. I did send them rent for a month, but I cut them off. The only reason I have savings is because I hid money from them. I couldn't say no to them. It was horrible. They are planning on selling the house and buying a smaller one. They will have no savings left for retirement. My sister, who I have a really strained relationship with, called and tried to tell me that I should at least help them out after they paid for my college. She had a specific figure which was way more than they spent. I told her they didn't pay that much for my education, and she didn't believe me, but I sent her the receipts. They had asked for more money and she had given them the money. They had told her that they needed money because they were paying for my tuition. They just inflated how much they were paying on my behalf. It is a lot. I know she hates me. We were played off against each other growing up. I can't describe how emotional it made me to realize she still cared enough about me to help my parents. I know for a fact she wouldn't have given them any money if they weren't helping me. It is a lot to work through. Things are pretty messed up right now, but I have a place of my own. I can see my daughter and I have a great job and I am sober." This update gave me some mixed feelings as well, whilst really, I think, nice in a way for OP that they've been able to move out, that they've gotten this no contact and they're able to live their life and see their daughter, still be sober. I think are all positives for OP. There was a couple of lines in this that I thought, that's really sad, where, OP said that the two sisters were played off against each other growing up. And it made her really emotional to realize that she still cared enough to help me, to help the parents. I thought that was really sad, and I hope that one day, and I doubt we'll ever find out this, but in my imagination, I like to hope that one day they get in contact and they can maybe reconcile and build their relationship that maybe they couldn't have had whilst their parents were still in their lives. I don't know if the sister still has contact or not, but I like to think that. But let us know your thoughts down in the comments below on this story, and let's move on to another one. And our next story comes from General Beneficial 675, who says, "I, 30 male, strongly believe my best friend, 30 male, is in love with my girlfriend, 29 female. I would like advice if I should simply cut him off with no explanation or should I confront him. Just for background, my girlfriend and I have been together for going on 5 years. I love her. My love for her has evolved, and in the near future I plan to propose. Now my best friend, let's call him Connor, I've known since childhood. Since the beginning, Connor has never said anything good about my girlfriend. He would joke when we would hang out about her weight. At first I took his words as a joke, but after a while I told him that I didn't like it when he goes in on her appearance, and he stopped talking about it for a bit. About a week ago, Connor, his girlfriend, and my girlfriend and I took a trip to Vegas, and it brought something to my attention. So, my girlfriend is beautiful, and I know this, and even others know this, because when we go out clubbing or anything, guys constantly ask her for a number, to dance or buy her drinks. This doesn't bother me. I can hold my own if I have to, and honestly, getting drunk on another man's dime doesn't hurt me either. Well, Connor was talking out of his neck this one night as my girlfriend brought me drink after drink men were buying for her. She was passing them to me and Connor's girlfriend too. So we were all pretty drunk, but at one point, Connor pulled my girlfriend to the side and just went off talking about, "Why are you flirting with these men? Have you forgotten you have a man?" It sounded like he was her boyfriend and not me. I jumped in and told him to lay off her, but he wouldn't stop. It got so bad that the night ended a little early. Once we're in the room, I asked my girlfriend what she thought of Connor's behavior, and she said, "Honestly, I hate it. It makes me uncomfortable that he acts like a jealous boyfriend or something." I take my lady's words into consideration, and I agree. All the jokes he tried to make about her, acting like her boyfriend, even if I was around because of the attention she gets. Then a memory of another time where we argued about what she wore to a state fair double date. We had gone with him and his girlfriend because he felt it wasn't appropriate, but really she looked amazing and I loved her fit. So it didn't make sense, but it feels like it makes sense now. Part of me wants to confirm, but the other part just wants to act like we simply grew apart. Any advice is appreciated. User Abe says it doesn't matter how he feels about her. What matters is how he treats her. His best friend's girlfriend. He's crossing some serious lines and making her uncomfortable. You should set some clear boundaries and tell him to stop these unnecessary, disrespectful comments. Stacy says plot twist. He's in love with you and thinks he could treat you better. In all honesty, it sounds like what a lot of other people are saying about feeling the need to put her in her place or whatever crap goes on in insecure men's heads. It doesn't really matter why he does it though. The fact is, it's annoying, makes your girlfriend uncomfortable and probably his too, and is taking a toll on what is supposed to be fun outings. However you want to proceed from there is up to you. Lizard Breath says he might not necessarily be in love with her. It just may be about her being a beautiful, confident woman. He may feel the need to humble her or put her in her place, basically control/misogyny. Some men don't like seeing women be happy and feel a need to bring them down. Ecstatic Star Stuff says, I think it's super important for men to call other men out and make them uncomfortable about shit behavior towards women. Imagine how much nicer the world would be if the good men spoke up and defended women in all these situations. Unfortunately, it seems scarier to rock the boat with other men that watch a woman be degraded in real time. Men, please actually be as brave and chivalrous as you'd like to imagine yourself. Make your male friends uncomfortable for mistreating women. And Tech the Tech says it doesn't sound like he's in love with her. From what I've read here, it sounds like he has some sort of complex where he feels like he needs to put attractive women in their place. I've met men like that before, and it's both scary and unattractive. Regardless though, in my opinion, yes, you should end your friendship with him. Not because he's in love with your girlfriend, but because he's an asshole. So then OP goes on to update the post, which says, hey y'all, this post really took off. I wasn't going to update simply because there wasn't much of anything to update about. In the end, I did confront Connor and well, a whole lot of nothing happened. Just some yelling back and forth. He acknowledged that he acted crazy with my girl, but no accountability from his part was said. I was hurt about the exchange and I wasn't going to stop until I got to the bottom of it. So I did what I could do to try and get clarity because you'll have to see my side. I grew up with this man. I saw him as my brother and potential best man and really wanted to know if he had turned into a disgusting person right before my eyes before I start mourning the loss of our friendship. Anyway, Connor and I used to play 2K, a basketball video game, and on here we were part of a squad of people we only met online. However, I'm super close to one of them. Let's call him Brad. I PM'd Brad a little rundown of what happened between Connor and I, and explained that I wasn't going to play for a bit, just in case Connor was and probably open his big mouth and try to turn the guys against me or something. Well, today I received hella photos from Brad. They're from the group chat, he and the others are with Connor, and he is just a real piece of shit. To all the women that expressed that he was a sexist motherfucker, y'all were so right. And on top of him being a piece of shit person, he's fatphobic. I didn't add this detail about my girl because I didn't think it was necessary, but she's plus size. I know to some guys that's a deal breaker, but to me, I could care less. And if I am sincerely honest, I think I learned the true meaning of jealousy ever since she chose to be my girl. In the beginning, I needed so much reassurance from her that it's a little embarrassing because I dated all types of body types, but she definitely has been the one that would take my claim with over-the-top PDA. Is that public displays of affection? Because some fools made me see red. Anyway, Connor said hella disrespectful ass shit that I'm ready to bury our friendship because just seeing his true colors makes me so upset and sad. Connor also shared photos of her on this damn group chat as to justify his name calling of her. Part of me wants to beat his ass for that. The other, I guess, is ready to be sad and move on. There's the update, y'all. Sorry to disappoint the few that thought he was in love with me. That would have been a whole other thing on its own. Lol. And I know this isn't the point of the story, but I find the whole people when you send people drinks across the bar, I don't know why, I always find that really strange. In the UK, a fair few of our pubs these days, you can get the app and you can send drinks to a certain table. And I remember before the YouTube stuff, I was like at a works do. There was 2 women there and there was 3 men there, 4 including myself. And we were playing pool and we were just chatting around this little table. And suddenly 2 drinks came over for the 2 women in the table. The waitress came over and said, "Oh, these are for you." And she said, "Oh, it was just the 2 men over sat by the bar there." And we all looked across and they wouldn't make eye contact at all. They just sort of sat there still drinking. And it was like, it's this real surreal situation. And you could see it made the 2 women really uncomfortable. They didn't know what to do with the drinks. They didn't want to drink them. And eventually they just asked the barmaid to take them back, which she gladly did. I just find it really weird, you know. I'm trying to put myself in those 2 shoes where I was. And looking across at the table, you see a group of people, 2 women, 4 men there. And I think, oh, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy the 2 women in that group a drink. See what happens. I mean, come on now. But what do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Let's move on to one more story. And our next story comes from BrightKey7114, who says, "Am I the arsehole for not wanting to let my daughter have a wedding on my property? I, 57, retired to South America 5 years ago. My kids are adults and we aren't really close. Mostly my fault. I worked away from home, so they were raised mostly by their mums. I bought an acreage called Finca, I think, and I rented out for events. I have an outdoor dance floor, a pool, and a 20-person guest house. I also built up some areas for pictures. I live in my own house on the property. So now the conflict. I refuse to let any of my family stay with me anymore. I did for the first year and they all abused my goodwill. They would not clean up after themselves. They would pick fruit off my trees and then waste them. They would not listen when I told them to not go in the pool on Mondays because that was cleaning day, and a whole bunch of other things. My daughter wants to have a wedding here. My house looks like Casita from the Disney movie Encanto. She's obsessed with it because my granddaughter looks like Mirabelle from that movie. So she wants to have a destination wedding on my property, which I would be fine with, I think. But then she tells me that her guests will stay there for a week before the wedding, and that since they are paying for the flights, they shouldn't have to pay for a place to stay as well. Yeah, I'm not super happy about that. So I say they can do it one of 2 ways. They can pay me to have extra staff on hand to clean up after them and cook for them, or they can have the ceremony, pictures and reception here and then stay at a hotel. I even volunteered to pick up the bill for the hotel. It would cost me more than what I can earn from renting out my place, but it would be worth it not to deal with the headache of entitled people. I let her bring her friends down here when she graduated university, and they left the place in shambles. I found an entire bunch of bananas in the pool. Not a bunch like in a grocery store, like 60 bananas. They ripped it off a plant and threw it in the pool. These were all human adults. Her mum is calling me an asshole for holding it against her. My son, her half-brother, is posting about how I'm just a miserable guy sitting down here and not wanting to see my family. Not true. When he came down with his girlfriend, I put them up at a nice hotel about 20 minutes away. Why? Because I had to pay for my pool guy to fix my filter pump because his girlfriend's panties were stuck in there last time he came down. I know I sound like a grumpy old man, but I don't think that makes me an arsehole. And Left Car says, I was so ready to call you an arsehole. Then I got halfway through and thought, maybe it's going to be an everyone sucks here. But you're literally offering to host the wedding and pay for hotels because they trashed the place last time. They're all acting super entitled to get mad about this and just incredibly spoiled and rude that they acted this way at your place before. Not the arsehole. Specific Plastic says not the arsehole. This honestly sounds completely reasonable, so I wouldn't really be able to understand why they're getting so worked up about this. Maybe there's more to the story that we don't know about, but yeah, not the arsehole. Dancing in Hyrule says, who thinks it is socially acceptable to invite dozens of people for a week-long vacation in someone else's house? She's even getting to have her wedding with you, despite having been a bad house guest in the past. The way they treated you and your staff and property in the past is the way they would treat a server at a restaurant or a clerk in a supermarket. Like servants. That's how they see you, as a service they can use for free. The fact that you own a hotel doesn't mean that your relationship with them is a service customer one, or that they are entitled to that service for free. Not the arsehole. Stand your ground. Juicebox Friend says not the arsehole. All of this sounds perfectly reasonable. I get the sense your children are mad at you because you were distant. which would be a mistake on your part. They've held you hostage with that situation to get what they want and who they want at your expense. Respect goes both ways, and if they can't respect your property, then they don't get the right to it. The alternatives you offered were perfectly reasonable. And one more from Lexol, who says, not the arsehole, tell them about all the destruction they caused to your property and how much it costed to fix it, and how you don't want to deal with it. They can pay for what they've destroyed and perhaps let them stay or just don't accept them. I get the feeling they only use you for your property and all the fun activities it brings, presumably free or at low cost. Set your boundaries straight, and if they break them, cut them off, because throwing 60 bananas in a pool by adults is simply stupid and disrespectful. Seems like your family guilt trips you into accepting them with, you don't want to see us, or you don't care. Just shit. Grow a spine and stand up for yourself, because this will only get worse if you keep enabling their behavior. Now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below. And just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, support and time always means the absolute world, so thank you so much, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.
Wake up, get up, stretch my legs, eat some breakfast, milk and eggs, brush my teeth up, wash my face, throw my clothes on, start my day. Wake up, I can smell the smoke from the bacon. Let's go, see the sun shining from the windows. Okay, I know that today